Hey, folks, one of the Redneck Country Podcast. You were on with Real Redneck Todd Millard, and we've got the almost guy, as always, Real Redneck Bill. Tom, Bill, are you there?
Happy podcast night, everybody.
Happy podcast night. And, of course, we've got my father, the patriarch, Redneck Country, Real Redneck Don Millard. Dad, are you here?
I'm here, raring to go.
And you can hear us?
Hear you well.
I hope so. He's sitting right beside me.
Good evening, sir.
He didn't hear you, Bill.
No, I was trying to do a mic check for him, but he didn't hear. So we'll try. How you doing tonight, Don?
Fabulous, Bill. How are you?
Yeah, living the dream. Any better, I'd be twins.
My gosh, I don't know if it's my headphones or the fact he's right beside me, but there's like 3D sound coming at me when he talks. It's almost like I was 10 again. Okay. Anyway, what'd you get up to, Bill? What did you get up to this week?
Well, we'll talk about it in a minute or two, but we had a pretty exciting week. The Redneck Clan doing some fishing. We can talk about that in a little bit. But this was like opening week of get the kids out of the house and back to school week. So it was a great week.
Are your kids back to school?
Kids, yeah. The girls went back today, and Hunter was back yesterday. And Hunter, being the middle child, he figured the world was picking on him because he had to go back a day earlier than the girls. But you know, that's just him.
The longest March break ever has just come to an end.
It is all over but the crying.
Oh, that would be an exciting week. I get to experience that next week, and my oldest is clamoring to go back, and like that's why I don't even know whose kid she is, because at 13 wants to go back, and she's like, okay, when I come in, and tonight sitting at the supper table, Jen was laying down the phone rules and stuff on how it's gonna go, so we have our schedule. And bedtime is this, and this is going to happen, and no phones at the dinner table, and no iPads at the dinner table, and make sure you clean off your plate and put it in the dishwasher. And Megan says, when can I do my homework? Like, what? Whose kid are you? What is that? I don't even know. Can you explain to me what homework is? And then she's just put in a volunteer application for the local library, and I'm like, holy geez. I don't even know where it is. I'm not sure I can get her there if she gets accepted.
Well, two feet in a heartbeat.
Yes, that's right. That you can use your phone for. Turn on the GPS, because I ain't got a clue where the freaking library is. So kids going back to school. And we're the same with we're getting ready to go back to school. Like, I know Grandma took the youngest out, so they went back to school shopping a couple times with Grandma, and then Grandma took Avery out, my youngest at 7, just by herself. What, Dad, Tuesday? And so she came back all pumped. Grandma bought her 3 sweatshirts and her hoodies, and she's all ready to rock, and got her stuff, got her shoes and everything. She can't wear them till beginning of school. So she's pumped she got that, but she is quick to tell you, I don't want to go back to school. I hate school. So I'm like, that's that one's mine.
Violet came home today, my youngest, going 90 miles an hour. I love school. My teacher's awesome. You know, and I say, hey, you know what? Keep it going. Keep the rhythm up for the entire year, because you're right. They had a huge March break, and I'm hoping that they can get back into a regular rhythm and you know, start to learn something again.
Yep.
So what else? What else you get up to, Don?
That's pretty much it for me. What'd you do, Dad?
Well, we had your kids a few days this week, which was exciting. That Avery just keeps you going. She just wants to walk. And I hear all the stories. In fact, we ran into a neighbor. The neighbor says, you excited to go back to school? And Avery says, nope. And just kept on walking. But when the off time, after Jen comes and gets the kids, and I spend early mornings and late evenings running all over, scouting geese, scouting fields, checking out the fields. And so that's what I've been keeping busy, getting forms signed and dropped off, and making acquaintance with the farmers, and trying to decide which is going to be the hot field. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I guess we did that too. Megan, we got her a camera DSLR for her birthday, and she's artsy and stuff, so she wanted that.
She's doing really good.
And did you see some of her pictures? Did you see that? Yeah, I was really good. She says to me, "All right, Dad, I need you to take me to a road where the trees are on both sides, and the sunset is at the end of the road, and it's got to be paved, and it's got to have a line down the middle of it." And I'm like, "Why?" Oh, and then down, she goes, I'll show you. Well, then down comes Avery in a dress with a little bit of makeup on and her hair all done. And I'm like, what is going on? She's like, I've got an idea. We got to go. And I'm like, well, what do you mean we got to go? So, but I'm like, hey, the kids want to spend time with me and we're going to go for a drive. And so Jen's like, had a fire going. So she's like, I'll sit here and man the fire. You guys won't be long. Way you go. And Jen knew what she wanted to do. So, hey, it's like 7:15, 7 o'clock, 7:15. We're getting in the truck and we're going to some country roads and we're like 3 days from goose season. I'm all in. So away we went. So I stopped and checked out the one field that we have. If you've listened to any of the Goose podcast hunts, everybody, it is those fields. And sure enough, corn is off one of them. And sure enough, there's 200 geese loaded up in her. And so Dad is gone, got the written permission, the form. So we're rocking there. So I'm grinning already. Away we go. And I think I counted 14 deer that we had. We even stopped on the side of the road and wound the window down for Avery to yell at one. Another one, we had a young fawn, a spot still on it, in the edge of the beans. We pulled up beside it. And it looked up at us and it ran right to my truck. It ran to us, and like hopping through the beans with Mama way back. And I thought that was pretty cool. So Avery was. No
wonder you guys do well for deer down where you are. They come right up to the truck. And load them in the back.
Not after October 1st. that's it. That's the magic date that they flip the script and they get this attitude. They just don't want to talk to anybody. So yeah, so it ran right up to the truck and looked at us. So then we carried on, and I knew of a road that I wanted to take her to, just based on all the hunting that we do. But I thought there's a couple, and the stipulation's tough. I mean, when you get out there, and now she's explained to me now she wants to take photos in the middle of the road. Well, now I'm concerned that, okay, I need a road that isn't got a lot of traffic on because we're in the country. People could be flying up and down the roads, but it's got to be paved with a line down it. All the country roads I know, they're not paving them. And then it clicked. Wait a minute. Redtail Golf Course, because of the vehicles that come in and out of the most illustrious course in Canada, I knew that road would be paved and have a line painted fresh down it. So sure enough, we went out there and we hit right up front of Redtail Golf Course. There's a little bit of a slough. Trees come up over top of it. It was exactly, the sun is setting behind those trees on the roadway. And so that we were able to complete her artistic goals in the middle of the road. And so, yeah, it was kind of cool, but
she had a vision and you were able to make it happen.
I was able to make it happen. And we got to see 14 deer, find 2 fields of geese, and seen some ducks. And so it was a good trip for me. And it was even when we got there. Yeah. When we got there right in the front of Redtail, there was a buck staring at us. And just a little guy, but I threw some snort wheeze at him, and Avery was, what were you doing there, Dad? And I said, snort wheeze, got his attention, and he kind of looked at us. So yeah, it was kind of cool night. It was good.
Wait, that's going to be the funniest thing for me ever. When you take her in the stand and the first time that you got a buck in the crosshair and she snort wheezes at it because Dad told her that's the way to get bucks to come closer.
Hey, I've shot a lot of bucks over a snort wheeze, but it's not my first go-to. You are correct.
20 yards broadside. Your daughter's in the stand.
I know when I'm lining up and she throws down the snort wheeze. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Oh, that'd be for me. That'd be hilarious.
I'm sure it would. Oh, good grief! Yeah, no doubt. Never thought of that. I'll have to prelude one before we get in the stand. And let her
love the way you think, Bill. I'm on your side.
I'm going to send her with Grandpa first.
Yeah.
Good grief. So yeah, no, that was our week. We got up to some good stuff. It was all right. Found the geese. And so that kind of leads us into our convo tonight. So what else we got up to this week was we went on a muskie fishing charter with our good buddy Nick that's been on the podcast quite a bit from Pond Predator Fishing Charters. And we had a blast.
It was a great time. It was an absolute great time.
It was just great being together. And we have to say that because we caught nothing.
Nope. You caught something.
I did. I caught some St. Clair salad.
Got a picture.
Some St. Yes, dude. Oh, geez. I can't believe I look up and your son's taking a photo, but oh, good grief. Yeah, we caught some St. Clair salad.
Yeah, it was an adventure though. I mean, we left the house here in Barrie to get down to your place, and took us 4 hours from doorstep to doorstep from here to Nick's place. And yeah, I mean, that's part of the adventure too, because most times I drive by myself, but when my son's in the vehicle, I drive by myself because he sleeps. So we didn't even get to Bass Pro Shop, and he was already asleep.
At Vaughn, yeah.
Yeah. So we went into Bass Pro Shop, and I got a new jacket for this weekend. And then we got on the highway again, and he was asleep again. I'm like, how do you sleep so much? But I mean, he's a kid. So, but
that's
yeah,
awesome.
no, it was good.
No,
I got to drive the boat too, which was part of the adventure for me.
If anybody's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/the Redneck Country, you can see Bill navigating us through the waters of Lake St. Clair.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, the bull riding practice came in handy as you were trying to hold your balance as we were going through. I will say that, but
it was an eye opener. It was an eye opener for me. I learned a lot. I'd never done that kind of fishing before. I'm not a boat person. Me and boats don't get along. Todd will tell you. I usually take a dip in the lake or the river. But
the unintentional swim.
Yeah, this boat here, even though we hit some really choppy water and making the turns, we were broadside to the waves, and that sucker was really rolling. It didn't bother me because the boat just
it was so big. That's
it was awesome.
And Nick knows my concern. Like when we went duck hunting out there, and he's like, "Todd, I'm gonna put you in a layout boat. We're gonna shoot some ducks." I said, I ain't going on the lake. That's a great lake. That's a great, it's named a Great Lake. Like I don't like the waves. I don't like the rough. And you grew up on the water. You guys aren't, they're the kind of folk I feel that drown because they're like, what's a 4-footer? What's a 7-footer? What's an 8-footer? They just get too used to it. And the next thing you know, they're in trouble. It's too late. Now, Nick says he's got a head on his shoulders, and thus far, he is proving it quite well. I will say that. We went out there duck hunting, and I almost canceled the night before. And I mean, I woke up at 3 a.m. because I got to drive, got to get there early, got to get the decoys out, got to get in the layout boat, all that fun stuff. And I think I told you, Bill, it was like the anxiety of right before you get on one of the nastiest bulls you can, where you know you might come out of this as a cripple. And so you have to go or you're a punk. But man, I did not. I was going to cancel at 3 a.m. sitting on the side of the bed. And I ended up going and no, man, it was good. He took me around the side. We got in the layout boat. All was well. So this time he convinced me again. Only this time we're going way out on the lake. And I'm like, but this boat was so big. And he said, now, Todd, I wouldn't go any choppier than this, any bigger waves than this. The weather was not optimal. It didn't rain. No, it just speckled it. But there was wind. There was chop. And he said, I wouldn't go. And honestly, I was absolutely fine. I mean, I talk a good game about being paranoid and crap, and I hate big water, and I absolutely do. I was absolutely fine, and he told me he wouldn't go out in any rougher water. So from that, I'm a boatman now.
Well, I now understand planer boards and the way the lines go, and he's so efficient with pull them in, clip that line, clip to the line, do this, do that, unclip it.
You're allowed what?
Out. It was kind of neat, but what got me the best was the stories. Like Nick had stories, and you guys were sharing stories, and it was just nonstop laughing at the stories. You know, we weren't even thinking about fishing. I don't even think we were watching the lines half the time. We were just telling the stories, and we had some really good snacks, and yeah, it was awesome. We had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it was. It was a good time. It was just like social time. Who cares if we caught fish? We were having a blast. And but you're right. Like the water was so rough, and the way the wind was, it had brushed up a bunch of seaweed and crap. So we were sitting there talking. Next thing you know, we had 2 poles out per person. There were 6 of us. We had 12 lines in the water, which is some maintenance, man. It's some labor. And we were pulling weeds like you wouldn't believe, just because the water was so rough, and they were everywhere. They were being brushed up and moved around and hitting the surface. And so I don't know how long we'd be into a big conversation, and finally somebody would go, we got some lures on top of the water pulling weeds. Oh crap. And I couldn't, if Nick was alone doing a charter and didn't have help, I couldn't do it. I don't know
how he would. I mean, even if it was half as many people, that's still a lot of rods in the water.
And he was ready to do it. Like, he was not expecting us to jump in there and be like, all right, I got this side. How many we pulling? We pulling all 4 in off this planer board, and we unclipping this, and we doing that. And he wasn't expecting us to help. He was ready to go do it himself. My gosh, I did one side with my brother-in-law. Nick did the other. And I mean, it was work.
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, though. I don't like to go and get catered to. I like to work and enjoy, like, driving the boat. For me, that was awesome. I mean, you guys did the stuff in the back of the boat with the rods and whatnot, but being able to keep it on a course and figure out what the speeds are and learn the boat, learn the water a little bit, and like that, it was part of the experience. And to sit there as somebody and expect the captain of the boat to do it all for you, it wouldn't be fun for me, anyways. You know? Yeah.
No, I agree. Totally agree. Because you want to be immersed in the situation. You want to understand what's happening. Like, planer boards, like Dad said, had no clue. And now, like, these things are just massive pieces of wood. And I'm like, why are you throwing that in the water? Now I know. And how cool is it that they stay out where they're supposed to stay out? Like, it's just wild. It's just technology that is not technology. It's just physics, I guess. But it's a technology to fish it. It is freaking cool. I learned a lot. Clipping them on and clipping the lines on and letting them go out there. And then this lure at 20 feet and this lure at 30 feet and this lure at 25 feet. And
the biggest disappointment to me was not getting a bite or not catching fish. That wasn't the disappointment at all. It was on the way home because we don't get together that much, like physically, and to stop at an en route and discover that they'd all closed early.
7 o'clock.
I was looking forward to a burger or something and a half hour visit on the way home and rehash the day and have a good laugh. And you guys had quite a ride home, and yet to find out that you couldn't even buy any food.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just had to get back in the cars and head out again. That to me was the biggest disappointment. In fact, partway home, my brother-in-law called his wife, my daughter, and said, get your mom and meet us at Chuck's Roadhouse. We ain't ending this day yet. We're gonna have some food when we get home uptown. So that's what we did. But it was without you guys, and that was the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, it would have been nice. My son was absolutely beside himself happy. It would have been icing on the cake for us to catch fish, but to your point, he learned so much, and to be around good people too. He said he just had an amazing time.
Did he have fun? That's awesome.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he couldn't have been more thankful for the experience. And like I said, he was a little bit disappointed, because he'd seen the fish that Nick caught the day before. And
49 and 0.25 incher.
Yeah, and I showed him the fish that he caught
the next morning. That was a 50 incher, yeah.
But he had a great time and sleep. When we split between at the en route there, it wasn't long down the road, and he was passed out again and didn't wake up until we got off.
Oh my gosh! Did he go to bed when you got home?
Yeah, and he went to sleep. He went to sleep when he got home.
Oh my gosh!
We went out golfing the next day with my father-in-law. He came up to play around, which is a silly thing that I'm doing now. It's taken up way too much time and money, but that's a story for another podcast.
Yeah. What, golf? Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. And not on these podcasts.
Yeah, a completely different podcast.
But he got up the next morning, no problem. And he was still tired.
Oh, good
when
grief.
He got up in the morning.
He doesn't drink the tea, does he?
What's that?
He doesn't drink the tea.
No, he doesn't.
I was saying it could have been the tea.
It could have been. No,
he's like 80 in a 14-year-old body.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go. Yeah. So thanks again, Nick. Appreciate your hospitality. And if anybody's looking for a good time, I mean, they just don't go with us. The almost guy, I'm thinking I had something to do with it. But.
Yeah, I tell you what. Yep. I wasn't going to say anything, Bill.
and by the way, you're going to put yourself through the almost guy luck again.
I know. Yeah. So this is because we have found said goose field, and there's a bunch. We got a couple goose fields actually, and that's what we were debating on which one to hit. And so there's a bit of a story there, but yeah, because we found this goose field, you and your brother are coming down to join us this weekend.
Excited, super excited. I mean, my brother, he's hunted on layout boats before on Lake St. Detroit River when I was living down in LaSalle, and Lake Erie once maybe, but field hunting for goose never. He's never pulled the trigger on a goose before, and he is excited and nervous.
Is he excited? Can we get him on the phone? Let's get him on the horn and see if what he says. Because that would be, I want to hear his excitement and see if what questions he's got. Hold on 1 second here.
Hello.
Is this Jay, Tom?
It sure is.
Can you hold on for one moment, please?
Sure.
Jay, we'd like to introduce you to somebody named Bill. Bill, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hey, you guys, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. What's going on?
Surprise! So Bill was telling us that you're a little bit excited and possibly a little bit nervous and possibly had some questions. So I thought, well, hey, let's bring you on the podcast so we could talk about what's going to happen this weekend.
Well, I'm definitely very excited. I'm definitely a little bit nervous. I don't want to embarrass myself. And
your brother's Bill. It's already been done.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hey, I like what you just said.
I will say that I might not be as organized as my brother is, but I do like to know what's going on before I get in.
I like what you said there, Jay. You can hang with me, and we'll get embarrassed together. Yeah, never mind what these guys say. You hang with me. We'll do our thing.
We'll have a great time. I know that.
Yeah.
So I was just about to tell the story on how we found it. I thought we'll bring you on. I'll tell the story on how we got here, and then maybe we can go through some questions and some thought processes on what we need to do for this weekend. Because we still have some unanswered questions even from our side. But so when I took my daughter out to do this photography deal, she wanted to do on some back road. I found this goose field, and I knew we had permission in this field. And this is the field, right? Like
that one's empty.
What that front one?
Yeah, but that one's empty. It moved. I had to find where they moved to.
Here we go.
But we're good to go.
Hey, Bill, I sent you a screenshot of our messages, right, where it said you were right. I will post that with the podcast.
No. He was right. He thought that there was a field behind that. This farm's so big.
Okay, you're ruining the story here.
Okay,
let me first. So I take the daughter and the field where we've shot 50 opening morning with a 5-man limit, 10 apiece, and shot 50 in 45 minutes. It is connected to the same field that we know as the 4-minute hunt. And so I drive by, we got written permission. We're the only ones in there. You know, the landowner's an awesome dude. So I drive by, take my daughter, and it's got 200 in it. And I'm stopped and I'm taking pictures and I'm firing them off to Dad. I'm firing them off to Bill. I'm like, yeah, look at this. And we got opening day coming up. We are ready to rock. So we went out, did the photo thing. And then I said to Dad, okay, we're good. So Dad does the additional scouting to make sure we're good, especially when we have somebody coming from as far away as you guys are. So he went out and he's like, there's only like 7 in the field, Todd. There's only 7. And now they're out there spreading manure on the field. I'm like, well, I've shot lots in manure fields. They do like manure. I mean, it's not great to lay in, but they do like manure. So maybe they'll go back. So on his driving, the other side of where we hunt, like a completely different direction, he found another field of 200. The only kicker is the landowner. Again, we've got written permission. We're the only ones. They only let certain folks in, and you've got to have a form filled out, and your name goes on it for that season. And so we got it. But they've put a chain across where you can drive in. And we're like, man, carrying 140, 50, 160 full-body decoys, 6 layout blinds across the field, it's not optimal. But you got to do what you got to do. So at that time, then it came, okay, I messaged you, Bill. I said, okay, we still got to hunt, but we might have to. So as it went on, I said, you know what, though? I messaged Dad back and I said, look, on that field where you said there was 7, if you drove down the same concession, the same landowner, I mean, he owns a whack load of fields, and there's got to be 6 different fields of crop. So it's different crops, and like there's beans, there's corn, and it alternates. And so I said, if you drive by and look way back, so go past that one and look where we did the 4-minute hunt, way in the back of that 4-minute hunt one, I said it looked like the corn was off, and you can't see it from the road. I bet you they're dropping in there. Oh, I don't know. It didn't look like it was off to me. So he went back out, and sure enough,
this morning,
they're in there. They're in the back, the 4-minute hunt field where we limit it out in 4 minutes.
Half that field is picked just like it was when we did the 4-minute field. And you can shoot in any direction.
It's
you
locked.
want.
It's way back off the road, trees. It's got a woods on one side. It's got corn up on the backside, right? It's corn from the road. So you don't even know we're in there, and we can drive right to it, right through it, throw the decoys out. We are rocking and rolling.
So what I'm hearing is your dad found us a goose field.
So I found the goose field, and I sent Dad to go and verify.
Oh, just checking.
He's the verifier.
Yeah.
Oh,
so all I got to do is check tomorrow morning, make sure they're still using that field, and we should be good for Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Standing.
So
That's awesome.
So
yeah, pretty excited.
So what do you guys have any questions? So Jay, Bill was saying you've done some duck stuff out on the lake, but you've never done goose in a field.
I was trying to think, Jay. We did some hunting on Detroit River there when I was living in LaSalle. I don't ever remember if I got you out on Lake Erie.
I'm surprised you don't remember that, because that was the only time I've been out on Lake Erie, and sure enough, my trigger lock key was still at the car when we were at the lake.
Oh,
I've been there, done that.
I blocked that one from my memory.
Yeah, I definitely was that guy. I got out in the middle of the lake and went, my gun lock key is still in the car.
You just pry it off with a screwdriver. Yeah. I've done that. I've driven 50 minutes from home, got the decoy set up, got the field. Oh, my trigger lock's on. Grab the screwdriver, start prying. I don't condone that.
We got it off. I learned a very valuable trick that day. I can tell you that. That was definitely a lesson learned. So, but yeah, I did get out once on Lake Erie, and I did go up to LaSalle with you when you were there on the Detroit River. You know, learning experiences for me, and that's what I'm excited for this weekend is just to learn. I've been listening to you guys talk for the last few weeks on the pods here, and you know, I'm really excited to take the tutelage that's being offered and to learn. I'm hoping it's more than a 4-minute hunt, because I want to learn more than in 4 minutes. So
well, you'll learn lots in 4 minutes. Oh yeah, no, I'm pumped.
Yeah, so this is your first field hunt.
This is my very first field hunt. I've never done a field hunt for any kind of game bird other than turkey. But that was it, and I'm definitely super excited to get this notch on the belt, to learn it, and you know, hopefully get interested in it and get doing it more than once every couple of years. Yeah,
absolutely. That's awesome.
So what's the strategy for Saturday, knowing that? Do you have a certain layout or
we got to talk about that. What do we want to do? Do we want, so this field, we can do whatever we want in this field.
Yeah. All we got to do is find out the wind direction, but we can shoot in any direction. So there's no problem.
Typically what we did in this field with the 4-minute
it's huge. That field is huge.
Yeah.
If there's no wind, then we got to be really careful, because they can land anywhere. They might not even come to the decoys, which is scary, because we got to be pretty sure we are where they want to be or where they're thinking they want to be, because with this field so big, if they land 100 yards away, we're out of the picture. If they come in from behind us, I can't turn around. I can't get up and turn around. Scott and Todd can,
we don't worry about that.
Yeah. But so we've got to put lots of space between the decoys. We gotta hope there's a good wind, and just hope for the best, but it should work.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that as much as I'm thinking the last time we did this, what we did was we did the big, I don't like to call it a horseshoe, but the V with the rounded out pocket, and we sit back about 10 yards off. We have probably 2 rows of decoys in front of the blinds in that pocket where they're going to come down and land. And then we take every decoy we got. And sometimes we don't use them all, but in this case, I do. Because I load every decoy we got. We make that horseshoe is probably 60-yard line on each side. And then as we fill that out, all the way back from where we are, it depends which way the wind is to how we're facing, right? So they land into the wind. So you want the wind to your back. So whichever way we're going to do it, we're either going to load all those decoys all the way to the woods or all the way to the cornfield. because it will be the wind will be blowing which one way or the other. And that way they can't land behind us because we're going to have those decoys all the way back. And this is where having so many decoys comes into our advantage. They're going to want now to land in front of us in that pocket because we're going to load those decoys all the way to the woods or all the way to the corn. And they'd have to fly another 100 yards. And then whoop, there's corn there. They can't. So they got to land in front of us.
So what's a setup time like that take?
Oh, a couple hours.
Yeah. So and then I've been thinking that we need to, I don't know is the cornfield there, Dad? Is it cut? Is there anything laying around?
Yeah, there is some laying around. There's some stubble. So there's going to be some cover for the blinds. That's not a problem. And of course, there's all kinds of weeds and stuff if you want to do the weed thing too. We just want to hope that the rest of the field is not taken off. We want to hope that they're done taking off what they want right now
by the weekend.
To cut the field in half. Otherwise, the field will be way too big. But right now, it'll be good.
Yeah. So that's my theory on what we should do. Now, you guys want to try something else? Hey, I'm game, and don't bother me none. But I'm thinking that's when we had the most success in that field, and it's just because it is so big. So use if you try to do the J hook, you can't cover enough. It's a smaller field for like I said, when we talked about that J hook, it is very successful, and you have all day long, which if you haven't hunted geese a lot, it is really good because you jump up. They don't always see you jump up. And so you have all kinds of time to line up on them because you're shooting at them sideways. The problem is with a J hook, they could land either side of that J hook or way at the end or way at the other end. And you just can't box them out and make it so they have one particular landing area. And so with the U and then loading all those decoys all the way back behind us, they're going to land somewhere in front of us.
And the J hook too, if they come in small groups, 2s, 3s, 5s even, and you just got a couple of guys, that puts every one of those flocks coming in at you broadside. But when we got 5 guys and we've got a field this big, we don't want to use the J hook because that would take some shooters out of it, I think. Especially
they're either going to go by you or they're going to
flocks are going to be too big because typically in this field there's about 4 or 5 areas where they live that they come from. So they're going to be flying in from all directions if all the flocks come there that I feel are going to come there. So you just never know which direction they're going to come from. But we'll get some 2s and 3s, but normally we'll get flocks of 15, 20 come in. And when they're that big, they circle a little more, and then you want the whole 15, 20 down in front of you spread out so that every man gets an opportunity for 3 geese. Because once you shoot that 15 or 20, they're gone.
Yep. Absolutely. So it'll be good. We get the 1s or 2s come in, and we just take turns. And you guys can take all day long to pull up, put your gun on, and pull the trigger. And you're rocking, right? Because they come in if they're coming in 1s or 2s, they're coming in pretty stupid. And they will be right, especially in this early season, they're going to be landing right in their face, right?
They're going to see a big field of geese like that, and they're going to come in without even thinking. They haven't been shot at yet. They're not educated to calls, the setups, or nothing like that. So
that turns into a 4-minute hunt. But yeah, no, I'm pretty pumped. So that's my theory. So I also got thinking that we should start to brush the blinds in. We can kind of cover up some time and brush them in the night before if we gather up some corn stalks and stuff from out back behind my place and start to pre-brush in some blinds. We can do that a little bit, and then it'll be a little less work in the morning. And but for the most part, we'll get there, we'll load in, we'll figure out where we want to be based on the wind, based on the size of the field, which way we got to face, how we're going to set it up. Then we'll put the trailer where we need it to, open up the hatch, and just drop the decoys. And then it's just pulling out the decoys, laying them out there behind the tailgate down on the trailer, and just I'll start the front line so we have the base look, and then we can fill it out after that. And then Dad usually starts brushing in the blinds, so we'll get a couple guys help Dad brush in the blinds while me and somebody else put out the decoys, whoever doesn't mind getting yelled at. And then
that's the truth.
I was going to say, based on what I've heard on previous podcasts, I'm going to do what I'm told, and being that you're very particular with where your decoys go, maybe I can do what I'm told and just either help your dad or follow them behind you or something there.
Like I said, stick with me. It's the safest place to be if you don't have a big ego, because it'll get bruised. It's
a lose-lose. It's get yelled at with me or get frustrated hanging with him. I mean, it's just if we didn't hunt with each other, we may not have anyone to ever hunt with.
The worst part for me is, are you sure this is where they were? Are you sure this is the spot? Are you sure they weren't on that knoll? Are you sure this is what I get all the time?
I'm going out tomorrow night to verify where they are.
I'm making him tomorrow night. I'm making him go out with a pair of binoculars, and he better pinpoint that spot, because the first time he says Saturday morning, are you sure this is where it was? I'm going to say, well, you're the one that looked. You better be.
We bring in peanut butter and jam sandwiches for breakfast.
I don't usually have breakfast.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I don't. What I do is take an apple or an orange and have that around 8 o'clock. But I don't get hungry. It's funny because when I get up,
you can eat 5 minutes after daylight.
Well, when I wake up in the morning, I'm usually ready for my breakfast. I'm usually, I want my breakfast. But when I'm hunting, I don't.
Because you're too nervous. You're thinking too much. If they moved on us, or is this bad? What are we? We got to make sure we don't screw this up. And so the pressure, normally we don't have this much pressure on. We got you guys coming down. We want to make sure that this is going to happen, right? So that's the kicker. You're driving all that way, staying over. They better come in. And so I'm going to be on pins and needles, not really caring about anything other than we got to get them in. We got to make sure that we got feet in your face.
And I'm trying to improve cylinder. I'm trying to improve cylinder this year.
Are you really?
Yeah, I took out my modified. I put in improved cylinder.
I don't know for how long you get. I got an extra full choke up there. You might want to slide that in by the time you get up out of the blind.
I figure I might even use some BBs this year. So we'll see what happens.
Bring the 50 caliber. You could shoot the ones that land in the field.
And I'm not even sure I'm going to get up. That's the other thing. I'm with my arm the way it is. I can't lift a trap gun. I can't shoot trap at all. So I got one of the blinds out yesterday. I put it out in the backyard, and I laid in it with my duck gun and my goose gun. And I practiced sitting up. And if I hold my arm in close to my body, I think I'm going to be able to get it up enough that I can swing on a couple of geese. It isn't like shooting traps. So we'll see what happens.
Can you?
If I can't, I'll become the photographer.
Can you brush in the blinds?
Oh yeah,
well, that's all that matters.
We're
good.
That.
We're good.
It's the weight of the gun. My left arm holds the weight of the gun out there, and I just don't have the strength in it yet. And I'm still going to physiotherapy. So
yeah, we will see. But yeah, so I'm fixing. Yep. Yeah. Oh, we got to go there already. I'm still involved in the hunt.
Okay. All right. Well,
no, you go. Go. I can come back.
Well, I was just going to say, after the hunt, are you cleaning the birds at your place so that the feathers are all over your backyard?
Yeah, my neighbors, some don't like me, so we come back and do it on their lawn. And our typical day, we have two options. I have a plastic table held in the shed covered in goose blood from last year that Jen refuses to touch. And the legs are starting to break on it a bit. But what we found, like last year, I don't think we used it. So maybe it was from 2 years ago. But what we found was the tailgates are the optimal height for a shelf or like a bench to clean the geese on. So typically we just we park on the road when we pull in because my laneway's full. And we drop the tailgates and we clean them right there on the tailgates.
Beautiful. Just breast them out.
Feathers go all over the neighbor. And then actually the last year, the neighbor said one came home as we were finished and she yelled over. I was out in the garage and said, "It must be goose season. There's feathers floating through my yard."
You are correct.
That is an understatement. There's feathers almighty up and down the street. We might better go to my place, but we'll see how we do.
Oh yeah, Mama love that.
No.
But we could. Won't bother me in the least. Oh,
I am not getting on your mom's bad side.
Yeah. No, she doesn't mind. I got a yard full of trees, and I pick the leaves up with the lawnmower, so the feathers just come up with them.
You can go clean it out front of the cottage. We're good there. Yeah, that's true. I don't mind that either. We can do that. So that'll be the plan. Hopefully, all goes well. So it should be good. Now, do you guys have a goose call?
I do. I do too.
All right, bring your goose call.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What? Yeah. None of us claim to be pro. I call only just because, like I said, I'm anal on certain things.
Did Jay say he's got a goose call?
Bill.
I do not know.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you one of mine, and your blind's going to be next to mine. And when Todd yells, "Put that down," I'll say, "Todd, you're yelling at Jay."
Well, from what I understand, you won't even hear him yelling anyway. So I think
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. You won't even know I did chirp him. But no. You heard me talk about how especially in the early season, I don't think we got to call a whole lot, but it's fun to have one, right? So bring it, and I just answer back and just respond, and then we got. I think our goose flags are still good. They're in the trailer. We got to open the trailer up. We haven't done that, so I'll go get that tomorrow as well. And get it over here.
Flag too.
Oh, bring it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't mind, bring that thing. Yeah, because I don't know what shape ours are in. I mean, Scotty's big mitts get on the goose flag, start flagging that thing. Next thing you know, it's all folded up, crumbled up. It's like look like a toothpick.
We got 3 or 4, but I don't even know if they're all the parts are there to them all.
Yeah. Yeah, bring one. Absolutely. We make one work. Scotty always makes it work and puts it together. And as long as whoever's using it has thick skin, because I will let you know when I think you should stop.
None of this is personal. We don't take any.
That's beautiful. I preluded this, Jay, just so you know. I preluded this whole conversation earlier tonight, and Bill was bringing this stuff up, and I said, "Look, if I don't like you, I don't talk to you. I just do it myself. So if I do like you, well, then I feel comfortable enough that I can yell at you."
I'm quite all right with that. For the most part, I give as much as I get, but in this instance, I'll probably keep my mouth shut and just take it all in. And
Oh gosh, no! And that's the other kicker is you can't screw it up. Absolutely not. There's no and if you do, I'll let you know. But you can't really screw it up. So it's just going to be a good time. I mean, I think we're going to have all day. You yell, take them. They're only going to be 10 feet off the ground. You got lots of time to get up, put your bead on one, pull the trigger, and watch them fold up. I really do. And
is it you got the magic call? You know you're the one that yells take them because you got an idea of Scotty's ability to get up, your dad's ability to get up.
Well,
that's how it works.
I pretty much my theory on yell and take them is I'm staring at them so much that Scott's too quiet to yell take them. Yeah. I don't think he'd tell me if. Maybe he has in the past. We should have taken them. There are times, and it might not happen on Saturday because it's so early in the season, but you've hunted them a few times in different fields, and they start to get a little weary, and they'll go over you once and go over you twice, and that third time, it ain't often a third time that if they're flying a third time around you, they're looking, but odds are they're looking as they're flaring and taking off. The third time is, and so I think there's been times where Scotty said you should have yelled take him on the second one, and I'll say you yell take him, and he's just too quiet too humble. I don't know to do that, to yell take him, and so it's always been I guess I must sound like a jerk. Just my strong personality, and it's only because I want it to work out. I want it to be perfect. You've done all of this homework. You've done hours of money of gas driving around to find the field, getting permission. Now you've gotten up at 4 a.m. You've gotten out there with the decoys. You've put them out perfectly. You've got the blinds brushed in. You've done a lot of work to screw it up with calling wrong, which I don't really think you can screw it up by calling wrong, by screwing it up by moving or by just facing the wrong direction or something stupid, or as they're coming in and you know, your hat's a little too low, so you reach up and flick it up or something like that to screw it up by doing something like that. And so when they're coming in, I'm so on edge and you're so pumped up. And I bet you every waterfowl hunter listening right now is nodding their head with me that you want them that inch closer. They're coming in, they're locked up, their wings are locked 100 yards. That's the most stressful time is when they're within 200 yards coming into your decoys, because now you're in the field. You've done all the work. This is it. If they flare, it was all for nothing, because if they flare, chances are the next flock's going to flare and the next flock's going to flare. And you can't be afraid to get up, jump up, fix it, do whatever you got to do.
It's something.
Right? Something they didn't like.
Kleenex in the field or something when you were setting up.
You got it. So after, like it could be anything, right? A decoy fell over and it's belly up or something stupid and you didn't see it. But when that first flock, when they come in, when they commit, and after you pull the trigger, so I'm on edge and I'm like, okay, stop flagging, stop calling, don't move. Everybody, Dad, hide your eyes. and Dad will be going, where are they? Shut up. Because I don't know how good a goose could hear. I ain't taking that chance. Just lay there and listen for take 'em. That's all you close your eyes, have a nap. You hear take 'em, get up.
And on top of that, I think he's got Scott and I pretty much gun shy because too many times I've jumped up with 4 or 5 right in my face. And then he starts screaming at me, you didn't see the 15 behind them.
I didn't say take them. Why are you jumping up? There's only 5. There's 15 with their
lay on down.
15 with their wings cupped, dropping like stones, and he jumps up on a loner that's ahead of him. Like, jeez.
I will not be moving until I hear Todd's voice. So.
Don't worry, it won't be you, it'll be me. If you see me come up, you're home free because I'll get the blame.
If you see him come up, you're way too late, and I've already used your limit. But yeah, I say all this, but it's still fun. I mean, you can't be afraid. It's not eggshells, and who cares if you get yelled at by me? It's just because I'm amped up in the moment, and it's ready. We're ready to go, and I want it to be perfect. And not I've shot lots of geese. It ain't going to break my heart if we don't. It's going to break my heart if you guys don't get to shoot some geese, right? So I'll be on edge because of that. I'll be all amped up and want it perfect because you guys are coming from afar. We've done these podcasts. We've bragged. We've thrown up pictures. We've got all this stuff, and then crap goes bad. It's going to be bad. I'm going to be distraught. So
that the first time that you hear the honk is going to be the eyes open, blood pumping, heart pounding. I love that. When they're circling, they're coming in, you know they're going to commit, and they're just okay. Just before you yell, take them. That's when the heart starts pumping and everything goes. I can't wait for that. That's what I'm.
And my little tip, because I do it all the friggin' time, and guaranteed every year, is make sure your gun is on your lap, pointed down at your feet, and right there ready. And I only say that because I've picked up a bunch of geese that we shot and we're picking them up, or I'm fixing a decoy, and then you hear, crap, they're coming, get back in the blinds. And I run, I jump in the blind, I grab my call, and Scotty's going, call, Todd, call. And I start calling, and then I'm focused on them, and I don't want to move, and I realize they're 75 yards out, wings cup dropping in. Where's my gun? It's fallen down beside me in my blind, and now I've got to reach down and grab it while I'm still concentrating on, and you're in a blind, and guys would go, oh, they can't see you moving. I think they can. When they're that close, dropping on you like stones, and then the panic sets in that, crap, my gun, I'm not even ready. I don't even have it. When really, I guess ultimately you'd have some time, but when you yell, take them, you want to be coming up, and Jay, if you haven't done this a lot, I don't want to treat you like a rookie, but what I used to do too much was, here they are, and I almost guarantee it. I might even do it on Saturday. It's like buck fever. I call it goose fever. The first flock comes in, jump up, put that gun up. You're so pumped, bam, 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 and you don't even know where you shot. You've got to still have enough that, like when that big buck comes in, and you're, and then okay, don't have a heart attack. Calm down. Breathe, and keep your wherewithal. So when you come up, you have the wherewithal to point that shotgun at a goose and pick one out and pull the trigger, and guaranteeing he's going to drop. Improved cylinder, and he's going to fall. He's going to fold. But don't the flock shoot. And I do it. I've done it, and I still do it. And I'm going to have to be cognizant on that first flock because we haven't hunted geese in 8-9 months. I'm cranked up, and here they come. And so I'm going to be like, grab the gun, jump up, bam, bam, bam. Oh, where did I shoot? I gotta be calm and cognizant. So I passed that on, and hopefully not sounded like from a cocky standpoint. Cause like I said, I'm probably going to do it, but just hopefully I don't want you having any regrets afterwards going, man, those 3 flocks came in. I don't even know where I shot. Cause I do it lots. And that's probably the number one for anybody. And even veteran hunters, but more so newer hunters, is they're just so pumped that here the geese are, jump up and shoot. Well, where were you aiming? I don't even know. I just jumped up and pulled the trigger, and I still do it on opening day. So,
and I wanted to add something, but I just pulled hand me that thing there. I wanted to add something. Todd said 2 or 3 times about the first flock in. How many times, Todd, have we been sitting there and it's only been 2 or 3 geese come in like early.
Oh,
like how many times? And
almost every time,
and
right?
Somebody
every
says,
time
okay,
you get 1 or 2.
Yeah, go ahead and take those. But to me, I don't know, maybe I'm all wet, but if we mess that up, then it seems like less come or
so I'll compound on that. Dad's theory is that's the scouts. Dad's theory, and some people say yay, some people say nay. So Dad's theory is they get up off the gravel pit or the pond where they're sleeping. They'll send out 1 or 2, maybe 3. A lot of times it's a loner, and Dad will say, here comes the scout, and believes that is the scout to come and see the field. And so kind of like the Noah's Ark sending out the dove, and if it comes back or not kind of thing, right? So if it never came back, well, there's some place for that dove to land. So they send out the scout, it comes out, and if it sees danger, it goes back. They know can't go to that field. You didn't get the scout. That flock, that family now knows. So his thing is we always got to get the scouts.
Well, my theory is the first
we unload.
It's all hands on deck. Don't care who gets them. They don't leave. That's my theory, but I might be all wet. Who knows? But I've said that 100 times.
Yeah, the first few are the scouts. Don't let them go back and warn that flock. And so you at the beginning, when you get the loner, you get the 2s or the 3s, the first couple, it could be a couple different flocks from different directions sending out the scouts. It's everybody on them. Get up and pound the crap out of them so they don't leave, so that you get, now here comes the 20.
I like it. Yeah, there should be enough steel in the air that they shouldn't leave. The first couple, if there's only 3 coming in or whatever, there's enough of us there that I'm thinking we're going to have some good luck and good times.
Spray and pray.
And if not,
watch them fall.
Have some laughs, and we're going to have some learning experiences and making a few memories here. I absolutely think it's.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to have a blast. So you guys, so for the most part, brushing I'd like to start trying to brush the blinds in the night before if we can. Grab some corn stalks. You guys are going to be here, and then we'll get up at, I don't even know what time it's light. I'm going to have to monitor that, but probably 4:00. We'll be out there by 4:30, right? Putting decoys out.
Yeah, 4 or 4:30. We'll leave here
and get the decoys out, get the blinds brushed in. So at first light, we're ready to go. Don't know what time. And
they don't always come in at first light either.
They can come in 2 hours later.
After light.
We've had them. We've sat there and watched 2 hours go by before they come in, and you think, they moved.
Nervous, eh?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like Dad won't even talk to you. He's like, oh, I thought they were here. They're not coming. And then next thing you know, here they come. And then sure enough, okay, thank goodness. But oh yeah, that's the other stressful situation, is if they don't come earlier in the morning, and then you're hearing them, because this time of year, they're all in different families. They're not flocked up. And we're shooting local birds, and there's enough of them around, but they're all in their own little siloed families. So they could be feeding in the field right next to the one you're in. And you're like, oh, you can hear them, you can see them. Maybe they're not coming. Maybe they switch fields. Maybe those ones are going to pull them in. You start second guessing the world. But it usually works out. Usually. Well, now, we do have the almost guy with us, but.
Yeah. You know what? There is that element of the hunt that it's kind of uncontrollable or controllable. Depends. If you just want me to leave my gun at home and I just come and, you can shoot my limit. Right?
That's always an offer, Bill. But I say that. So we've had the same thing. We have a buddy out of London, and one of our congregations is in London from the church that we both belong to. And this gentleman's a neighbor, not a member of the church. He's a neighbor down the street. And so he would cut his whole street's lawn on his riding lawnmower, and he would end up cutting that church's lawn. And so we got to know him from the community dinners that did over there, and his wife was on the PTA for the local school. And so we got to know him and found out that he was just getting into hunting. And so, well, now, hey, we can pay you back and take you hunting. And his name's Tor. And so a lot of folks know him around here because he's active in a couple gun clubs and stuff. And he's a super, super guy. Obviously, he cuts everybody's lawn and doesn't ask anything for it, just does it. So we thought, hey, we can pay you back. We're going to take you. And I'll tell you, Dad, how many How many hunt? We showed him pictures at all the community dinners, got him all pumped up for goose season. Every time he came, we'd have another picture to show him and say, hey, we're going to take you. We're going to take you. And so we took him and his son a bunch of, I don't even know, 3-4 times.
Oh, it's 4 easy, maybe 5.
And
one goose would come in, or none would come in.
And forever, he's like, where's this feet in your face? Where's these stories? Where's these limits? And so we called it the Tor curse. We could not shake that. We'd go out with him. The next day we'd go back out and we'd get a limit. And he'd be like, yeah, you guys took me to the field where there wasn't that many, so you could save it for the next day. No, it was just, it's just how it is.
He was funny. He would laugh because the one goose come in, we'd lay there for an hour, one goose would come in. And I said, okay, Tora, you shoot it. We got you here. And he'd be pumped. I got a goose. Oh,
he'd be cranked for just one. And I'm like, man, we just did all this work for one freaking goose.
Yeah, he brought his son, and we had this field, and we thought we were aces. Oh man, they was loaded the morning before. We're gonna just have a great time. And one goose came in the whole morning, and his son was there. So Todd said to his son, you shoot it. Well, his son had to leave to go to work. It was a weekend, and his son worked part-time. Well, he shot that goose, and I can go to work happy. I'm taking the goose with me. I got to show the guys I work with. So they were pumped.
But
we finally broke the curse.
Yeah, the last couple of years. So now we've taken him out probably another 4 times, and every time we've limited out.
And
we broke the Tor curse. Now I hope we don't have to go 4 hunts to break the almost guy curse.
I'm hoping not to.
But at least we got an excuse.
My brother.
Whoa. I don't know about that. I feel like I'm maybe not so much the almost guy. I'm kind of the in-between guy. Every other time.
I like it. So anyway, that's pretty much, I don't know if you guys got more questions. You're bringing, what guns are you guys shooting? Bill, you're shooting an 870.
Yep, I got an 870. I got 3-inch BBs, Winchester loads. 3 boxes. I'm sure that I should put something on the ground with that. If I can't hit anything with 3 boxes, I shouldn't be hunting. So, but that's just me. So,
right on. And Jay,
what are you shooting here?
I got my grandfather's Winchester pump shotgun that he gave me, and I'll be shooting 3-inch as well with the BBs in it there. Again, that's what Bill told me to grab, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going off his recommendation, your guys' recommendation. So if I got something that's not good or not right, then this will be my chance to learn what I should have.
Does it have chokes?
I have a modified choke in it.
Yep, that'll work. And you might even want to think about putting improved cylinder as you get going. It depends,
Well, and that's what I was saying. They're going to be. I'm improved cylinder no matter what time of season it is and stuff. I mean, I'm not bragging. I'm just to back up the improved cylinder side. I've dropped them out to 40, 45 yards.
Steel BBs seem to like an open choke because they have a tendency to bunch up.
He just says that because I shoot that. They tend to like.
They do. I shoot number 2s and I shoot modified. But if I'm going to try BBs, I'm going to the improved cylinder.
So you shoot 2s with a modified choke, and if you find it patterns well.
Yes.
Yeah, because
BBs don't.
You got 2s and you got BBs in.
I have both. Yeah.
So the modified will probably work on either. Yeah. I would stick with the modified choke tube if you're going to have both shells in the gun, right?
Yeah, and I think I got a whack load of 3-inch number 2s too that I don't use that we can pass on.
Yeah, 3.5 inch
because they're not
3.5 inch steel 2s are getting hard to find, and sometimes I run out of them. And when I switched the BBs, I couldn't hit a darn thing, and so I chalked that up to they don't pattern well through modified. And Todd found that he started really thumping them when he put the modified in
triples,
with BBs.
making it rain. So, improved cylinder.
I'm gonna have to borrow a choke tube from here. I'm gonna hit Cabela's tomorrow because I shoot a modified choke tube in my 870. So I'll hit Cabela's and I'm gonna look for a choke tube for my brother to see if they got one there for him. If not, it gives me an excuse to go to Cabela's. So.
Yeah,
but
gives me an excuse. I like it. Right on. So
right.
We're ready to rock. You guys are coming down Friday night. Then we've got the living room down here all quarantined and ready to rock. So
hope you didn't go through to any trouble for us at all.
I did not. My wife decided that because you guys were going to have this area where it's my bathroom, none of my family use it. And so it's a warning, no matter what, it's a dude's bathroom. But my wife went in there to clean. She broke my shower door. I said, "What are you doing?" She's like, I broke it. It won't close now. And like, she's almost ripped it out of the hinge. I said, "Well, what were you doing?" "I was just cleaning it." "You haven't cleaned my bathroom in 20 years. Well, we have company coming.
I told you, we sleep in the pickup truck. It's not a problem.
Well, I told her that. I told her that.
I fully intended to sleep in the front seat of the truck if I had to.
I said, "Look, Jen, we don't want these guys getting comfy and thinking that this is like a resort. It's not that. Yeah, no. I said, "Heck, they're sleeping on the back deck."
It's okay.
We'll
sleep in the goose trailer.
We're good to go. We got a couple blow up mattresses, so you guys, you're ready to rock. I think we're
we'll be
good.
There probably around 8:00 tomorrow night. By the time I get up and done work, I don't work tomorrow, but I get spend some time with the family when they get home from school.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Well, I don't rush. I mean, whenever you want, no big deal.
Yeah, we'll be there around 8:00 tomorrow night. And
awesome. See you guys tomorrow night then.
Have some stories. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the good chat tonight, guys.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah,
couple days.
Yeah, you blame Todd.
What was that? I missed that.
I just said, no, I appreciate the surprise call. I definitely wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, no, appreciate you taking the time. No, I'm pretty pumped. So I have to stay tuned, see how we do. Knock on wood.
Looking forward to it. Thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, right on. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Bill.
And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country Podcast, I'm Bill, the almost guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. And thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.